بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. صدق الله العظيم. It seems like only some days back we were talking about the coming of Ramadan, and now we are talking about the last days of Ramadan. In a few days we will be getting into the last 10 days of Ramadan. If we look at what we have achieved in these past days of Ramadan, so much that we feel that we are missing on doing during the month of Ramadan. And if that is a feeling, it's a good feeling. Because the next 10 days that are coming, they are far better than what have gone past. The last days of Ramadan are better than the previous ones. In fact, as we know, in the last days of Ramadan, we have a night that is not only better than the previous 20 days of Ramadan, is not only better than this whole year that have passed, خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ, better than 1,000 months, which means better than over 80 years of our lives. So still there is a lot we can get. But only if we are serious about it. It's not only, oh, I feel bad, I didn't do anything. If you feel bad, I didn't do anything, then I need to do something now. Now I should feel that, okay, I made a mistake. I didn't make my schedule right. I didn't plan it right. And I made these mistakes that I have learned from the past, these days of Ramadan, and I'm going to make this change so at least I don't continue missing out on in the last days of Ramadan either. So instead of missing out now for the remaining, just as we missed of the past, let's change our schedules. Let's try to see what is it that we can do. Of course, remember one thing. This dunya is not going to leave us. And we all have our commitments. And we have a lot of important things to do. But on daily basis, we have been hearing about people leaving this world. And so many of those who were with us last year, they are not there to witness the month of Ramadan anymore. And no one knows. No one knows. And sometimes we doubt this. But if we will really get the next year for Ramadan or not. Many times we think it's not me, it could be someone else. You look at people that are in their old age, but you look at the people who are leaving the world. It's not about the age, it's about that time when it comes. And then we find all kind of reasons that he died because of this. This year, they are more busy than they were in the past year. And it seems like they are getting busier and busier. You know why? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees the person not appreciating the ni'mah, takes the ni'mah away from the person. You don't care about my time. You don't care about those special gifts that I'm passing out to every person, to every believer. You don't have time for it. Get more busy in this dunya. And a person keeps on getting busier with this, thinking that I'm going to get something. I will make something. We feel like I'm benefiting. The way I'm running, I'm catching something. We are really not catching on to anything. We are just losing everything. If we lose our Ramadan, then we are losing everything. So at least, alhamdulillah, we still have time. If we now make our firm plan and come with firm commitment of doing something for our akhirah in the remaining days of Ramadan. What is it that we like to do? If we ask ourselves at this time, comparing to what I was doing in these days of Ramadan that have passed, what is it that I like to do in the last days of Ramadan? Come up with a plan. Think of something you would like to do. How much Qur'an would you like to recite? How much salah would you like to perform? How many with jama'ah? How many nawafil? How much of time you have for dua? How much time are we going to have for the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? These are important things of our life. What is it that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was doing during the month of Ramadan? How was he spending his times during the month of Ramadan? What did he teach Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een? What is it that Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een used to do during the month of Ramadan? It's the month of Qur'an. Day and night they are with Qur'an. You don't see their lips stopping while they're awake, regardless of what they're doing, lips are moving, and every person is reciting Qur'an al-Kareem. Let alone Ramadan. Outside of Ramadan, they used to recite so much Qur'an. The hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari tells us, those people who used to come with the intention of accepting Islam, so these are newcomers to Islam, they have just accepted Islam. They used to develop the habit of reciting Qur'an so much that once a clan came from outskirts of Medina Munawwara, on some distance from Medina Munawwara, when they accepted Islam and they were leaving, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I would like to choose one of you to be the Imam. And I'm going to choose the person who have memorized the most Qur'an out of all of you. So they started testing everyone who have memorized the most Qur'an. To their surprise, there was a young boy from amongst them who knew Surah Al-Baqarah and he knew many other surahs. So they asked him, how did you memorize it so quick? We have been here only for a few days. He said, I haven't memorized it here. I memorized it when we were in our town, but we were not Muslims at that time. Yes, I know we were not Muslims, but those people who used to come to Medina, on the way back, they used to station by a well that within our own home. This is to tell us how much we need to work on ourselves, how much we need to work on our ibadah, how far are we going from the dhikr of Allah, from the book of Allah, from the deen of Allah. We are just getting disconnected. How many of us have already finished one Qur'an by now? And if not, what's the plan now for the remaining days? Can we recite 3 juz a day? So at least in the remaining days I can finish one Qur'an. If we see Uthman radiallahu anhu, the hadith tells us in Sunan al-Bayhaqi, he comes by the Kaaba, stands by Maqam Ibrahim. A young man that was sitting there, he says, I reserved my place by Maqam Ibrahim. I said, today I'm going to just pray at this place. And a person came and he patted me from the back. I looked back and it's Amirul Mu'mineen Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. So I said, this is Amirul Mu'mineen, I have to make a space for him. So I moved away. And he started, as I gave him a space over there, he started his Salah, Allahu Akbar. And he said, this was after Salatul Isha. And I saw him going into the ruku only after he was reciting Qul A'udhu bi Rabbin Nas, finished the whole Qur'an in one rak'ah. How many juz can we recite in one rak'ah? How many juz have we recited up to this day in one rak'ah? How much Qur'an can we recite in one night? It's not about our nights are short. I can't recite that fast. I don't have that much time. At least utilizing the time that we have. It's not about spending 10 hours or 15 hours. If our nights are 3 hours, utilize the 3 hours. If we can spare 2 hours, then spare 2 hours. But without going to any other things that will take us away from the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the main part of our life. The thing that is keeping us away, it's not having the time. It's all the distractions that we have around us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is blessing us, and subhanallah, what a blessing. It's nothing, there is nothing comparable to what's coming now. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. A night, one night, that will be more valuable than more than 80 years of our lives. How many of us are 80 years old? Not too many of us. Maybe only a few. We are 40, 50 years old. In one night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ready to give us more than what we have earned throughout our life up to this time. Can you imagine? If we are in our 60s, and we have started our ibadah at the age of 20. So your ibadah is only 40 years. In one night, you will just get the ibadah of another 80 years. Just think about it. Someone told us, I'm ready to give you double the amount of whatever you have earned up to this day of your life. I'm going to pay you double the amount of not what you have earned, what your salary is right now, what you earn in a year, of what you have earned in the past, in your life, throughout your life. 40 years, 50 years that you have worked, calculate how much have you earned during those 40, 50 years. And I'm going to give you double of all of that just in no time. So what is it that I need to do? You work for me for 10 nights. Work for me for 10 nights. I will pay you, maybe it comes to $3 million, $4 million that you have earned up to this day. Regardless of how and where you spend it, how much savings you have, everything that you have earned, $5 million, okay. In 10 days, you work for me for 10 days, I will give you $5 million. I don't want to raise your hand, but who is not willing to go for it? Who would not work for those 10 nights? Just for me for 10 nights. And you look, especially in our time, what is our night these days? How many hours of night do we have? We are complaining about the shortage of time. We say our time is too short. Subhanallah. Just with the short time, you get the reward of 80 years or over 80 years. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying that for those people who have a night of 12 hours, I will give them 1,000 months or more than 1,000 months, and for those who have the night short like hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, I will give you the reward of only 40 years. No, it's for everyone. Just utilizing the time. خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. It's better than 1,000 months, regardless of how many hours of your night is. Just utilize these days that are coming. And really, if we compare it, one of your family members come. Let alone just Ramadan. You go home, today you go home, tell your family that from the 25th of Ramadan, if I work for 10 nights, they will pay me $5 million. They will pay me $5 million from the 25th of Ramadan. What does that mean? Including the day of Eid. I will have to work. I will not be with you. We will not be able to spend time together on the day of Eid. Because I have to work for 10 nights. It's $5 million. They will tell you work for 20 nights. Bring 10 million. Now no one is going to tell you, how are we going to do our Eid without you? We won't miss you. Go and bring the 5 million. We are missing those 5 million now. Who is giving us more? Can any human being give us more than what Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us? During the time of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, there was a drought in Medina. And it continued for a few months. And people went to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu complaining. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, subhanallah. Look at those people and their connection with Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, okay, it's been months now. And now today when they go to complain to Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he said, make dua and have sabr. He says, make dua and have sabr. And inshallah, before tomorrow, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open the doors of rizq for us. Look at the confidence. Look at, for us, I have ordered a container. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu says, make a dua and sabr, and by tonight, before tomorrow, Allah will open the doors of rizq for us. What a guarantee, subhanAllah. What a connection, what a tawakkul, what a trust in the earth. And must be he spent that night in doing some special dua to Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. And next morning, early morning, a trade caravan of Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu arrived in Medina Munawwarah. 1,000 camels loaded with food. Can you imagine 1,000 camels? We are talking about 1,000 containers full of food. They arrived in Medina Munawwarah. All the businessmen, they went to Uthman radiallahu anhu's door and they started offering him high prices. so that they get these containers and then they get the chance to sell it out. Everyone is in need of food now. People are going to buy. There is a lot of demand for this food right now. So here, let me be the first who will buy out everything from Uthman, and then I will sell it to everyone else in the market. Uthman radiallahu anhu is a supplier. Now the store owners are going there. Give it to us, who will sell it? Uthman radiallahu anhu says, okay, I'm ready to sell it. But now you know there is a lot of demand for what I have. So tell me, what are you going to pay me? They said, show us your bill, how much you paid for it. We will give you double of what you have paid. You make 100% profit. You make 100% profit right now. You don't have to do anything. We will unload it, we will take it, we will take care of everything. He said, no, but someone already offered me more. Businessman, someone already offered me more. They said, okay, we will give you double of that. No. They went all the way up to 5 times, which means 500 times more, 500% that you are making profit on this. He said, no. Someone offered me more than that. They said, you know, who can offer you more than this? This is the highest we can go. He said, Inna Allah a'tani bi kulli dirhamin 'ashara. Allah has offered me 10 for 1. Not 1 for 1, not 5 for 1. Allah has offered me 10 times, 10%, 1,000 times profit. And therefore, all of this is sadaqah to the people of Medina. Tell everyone to come and get whatever they need. Not even one camel that he would keep for himself. It's not okay, let's divide it half and half. It's not about, okay, sell 100 and keep the 900. All 1,000 are sadaqah to the people of Medina. Come and take whatever you need. This is when people realize what akhirah is. This is when we work for our akhirah. As we compare earning of dunya, we are ready to spend the 10 nights for 5 million. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us much more than what anyone can give us in this dunya. Believe me, if someone will give ibadah that he never missed in the last days of Ramadan, and that is i'tikaf. What is i'tikaf? It's a scary word for many people. Staying in the masjid. So what I'm going to do? Whole day in the masjid? Can I go out for a few hours? No. This is the time. وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam started receiving the revelation from Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is early days. يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُزَّمِّلْ قُمِ اللَّيْلِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. The first instructions he's receiving. Oh Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, get up and perform qiyam during the night time. And then we see so many ayat talking about this. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ. Remember the name of your Lord. What you do is stay alone and keep on doing the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا. And devote yourself to Allah with exclusive devotion, which means fully devoted to Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala, where you don't care about anything else, don't worry about anything else, don't look at anything else. Full devotion to only the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do we know Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? He received his wahi where? In Ghar Hira. Why in Ghar Hira? Because before receiving that wahi, the first revelation, in order to be ready to receive that wahi, pay attention to this, in order to be ready to receive the wahi from Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala, for 1 month he was in that cave, Ghar Hira. He was doing the ibadah in that cave. And that is only when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started sending Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam to him, that now you learn how to devote yourself to Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. If for receiving the wahi, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is spending a month in Ghar Hira, how much time we need to spend to make sure with all the dunya that is in our heart, with all the sins that are in our heart, with throughout our life, whatever we have done with our life, how much time we need to devote ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before Qur'an al-Kareem will get into our hearts and the nur of hidayah will really get into our hearts and our minds. This is important. And then after the revelation started, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders him, وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا. Muhammad, make sure you have a time when you fully devote yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now that is the time when you are not answering your call, when you are not answering your door. And this is really means for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, تَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا, when during the night times, every night of his life, no exception, every night of his life, he has a time when he is only devoted to his Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the time when he's going to do Qiyamul Layl, and generally he's doing over 5 juz per night. Per night he's doing over 5 juz in Qiyamul Layl with dua. That's so much dua that he's making for us and for the whole ummah. This is on daily basis. These things are gone out of our lives. Imam ibn Shihab al-Zuhri rahimahullah, well-known scholar, the first scholar who wrote a book on hadith. This is during the time of Tabi'een, during the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahmatullahi alayhi. Imam ibn Shihab al-Zuhri rahimahullah says, Ya ayyuha al-Muslimun, he says, oh Muslims, I'm really shocked. How come you people left i'tikaf, whereas your Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never left i'tikaf throughout his life after he got to masjid? As I said, for some time, for some of us, it gets a little scary. Or after looking into the qabr and looking under me, I will feel that I'm too great to be over here. No, Ya Allah, send me somewhere else. We need to break that arrogance right here. We need to break whatever we have, barriers that we have that are stopping us from coming into these places, spending time into these places. We need to break them before we get into our qabr. I'tikaf is the sunnah of all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he ordered Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam to build the Kaaba, what did he tell him? طَهِّرْ بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْعَاكِفِينَ. Purify my house, keep my house pure and clean for those who want to do tawaf, for those who want to do i'tikaf. This is the time when Kaaba was built. This is the sunnah of all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. Through i'tikaf, we will learn, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, al-mu'takifu ya'takifu al-dhunub. We will learn how to stay away from sins. I'tikaf is a good lesson of tabattul. We will learn how to stay away from our dunya, disconnect ourselves from dunya for some time. Through i'tikaf, we will learn how to build our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the dhikr of Allah, with the tilawah of Qur'an al-Kareem. Otherwise, we just get busy with other things. I'tikaf will train us to stay in the masjid, as we know how difficult it is for us to stay in the masjid even for 1 hour. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he talked about the most difficult day of our life on the day of Qiyamah, he said there will be 7 types of people that will be under the shed on that day. And one of those 7 people is who? رَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ. A person whose heart is always connected to the masjid. And through i'tikaf, your whole time is ibadah. Subhanallah, your whole time is ibadah. Even when you are sleeping in the masjid, because you are there with the intention of ibadah, which is i'tikaf, as soon as you enter the masjid, you are in ibadah. Even when you are sleeping, you are doing the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then, i'tikaf is the best way of obtaining the ibadah of Laylatul Qadr. Otherwise, going home, tea, relax, having this, having that. Laylatul Qadr, every minute, every second.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير